Your ambition is one of your greatest strengths, and it drives you to meet the challenge of becoming an artist. But you start to diminish your chances of success every time you tell someone what you're going to do instead of actually doing it. If you want to accomplish your goals, there's only one kind of person you can tell to help you move forward. And that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. In the spring of 2009, I googled concept art for the first time in my life and discovered a thriving community that proved without a shadow of a doubt that artists could start from nothing and become thriving professionals. That community called itself conceptart.org. Artists on their forums shared their everyday experiences learning how to draw and paint. It gave birth to many of the most skilled artists that we have today, like Miles Johnston, Minyam, and Johannes Voss. The one goal we all share as artists is to become highly skilled. It's not enough to draw a stick figure and just call it a day. You want to design a character that you think is cool, leaves you breathless, and makes you want to draw more. The artists on conceptart.org took action almost every day and shared those experiences with us. They didn't share all their ideas or big plans. They just took action and documented the process. And that is the key difference where they found success and many artists today are slipping up. I love to tell people about my goals for the future. It's natural to want to share something that you're excited about. I told my friends about a comic I wanted to create. I jumped on Instagram with a little figure sketch and told everyone I was going to study anatomy for 14 weeks. Of course, that never happened. It was only years later where I discovered two things. I never followed through on those goals, and I ruined my chances to follow through on them by talking about it way too much. Researchers describe the difference between your plans and your actions as the intention-behavior gap. In other words, it's the difference between what you intend to do and what you actually do. I told people I was going to study anatomy for 14 weeks, and instead I only got through 2. Turns out when you announce your goals, you kind of shoot yourself in the foot. Just like social media uses dopamine to keep us scrolling through posts, your brain uses it to reward you for completing a goal. When you decide you want to complete some goal and you have the intention to do it, you set yourself up for that reward. And when you succeed, you get that chemical release of dopamine. But if you short-circuit the process by telling people, you get some of that dopamine release before you actually make any progress on your goal. You create this premature sense of accomplishment by simply telling people what you're going to do instead of actually doing it and robbing yourself of the growth that you could have. Now don't worry, you can still share your goals, it just all depends on the right person that you tell. And if you do tell the right person, you actually get more benefit out of it than if you had not told anybody at all. In 2019, a man named Howard Klein ran an experiment on 171 undergraduates. They were asked to move a slider across the screen to the number 50 as many times as they could before the time limit. When they finished, they were asked to do it again, with this time writing down a goal to hit. Now, a lab assistant would go around and check on their progress, and here's where it gets interesting. The assistant either dressed in a suit and introduced himself as a doctoral level student, or dressed casual and introduced himself as a part-time community college student. Now, surprisingly, the students that shared their goals with the doctoral level assistant were more committed to achieving their goals and actually showed better performance. They even did a longer and larger study after this and found the same results: more commitment and more likelihood to achieve their goals. Essentially, it boils down to this: if you don't care about who you told your goals to, you're going to hijack your own reward system. If you care a lot about who you tell and you look up to that person, you're going to dedicate an overwhelming amount of energy toward that goal. Just be careful not to put so much pressure on yourself that you actually end up breaking under anxiety before you can make a proper performance. Because of social media, I've always felt this pressure to frame what I'm doing as an artist through the lens of what's most interesting to share. If I want to learn anatomy, I can't just sit down and start drawing hands. I have to think about how I can frame my personal practice as interesting pieces of content. Shorts amplified this problem, and AI adds a really gross layer that I don't even want to go into. The point is, that journey is supposed to be for me, and your journey is supposed to be for you. But it's being hijacked and stolen from you. Rather than being a victim of this theft, you've somehow become a participant. I want you to achieve your goals, and hell, I want to complete my own. So I'm asking you to think about who you share your goals with. Is it someone you're going to feel compelled to challenge yourself so you can show them how you've mastered things? Or is it just to make yourself temporarily feel good? If you want my advice, the best way to go about this is to document your journey. You can show people what you're doing instead of telling them what you're going to do. Just like those artists back on conceptart.org. You don't even have to do it every day. Disappear for a while if you want. Really sink into your work. And slowly post everything you've done one at a time. That way you get to enjoy the achievement of actually accomplishing your goals and telling people about it all at the same time. That's it for today's episode. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I would tell you to share your goals in the comments, but that would kind of be against the point of this video. But let me know if you had a time where you did exactly what I did. You told everybody about your goal and then never accomplished it. And maybe you think this might help you in the future. Have a happy and healthy creative process.